legend where magic meets the heart. Commander Prime, where the stories unfold, with heroes and villains new and old. Dungeons and Dragons got the word, the world of EVA we play.
Hello everyone, welcome again to Commander's Pod. I'm your pod father Duncan.
I'm Sloan.
And I'm Jeff.
And today we are going to do our Lorwyn Eclipsed set preview. Pre-release is tomorrow after this comes out.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about the set, talk about the mechanics, talk about everything we like, don't like, whatever.
Yeah, and we're going to do such a good job, we will not be eclipsed.
That's right. So we're not going to do any aggro Jeff this week, no pro tips.
Right.
Because there's,
Plus, I'm in a good mood. I just came back from vacation.
Yeah, so there is no aggro Jeff. He's sleeping right now.
Good. I'm in a good mood.
It's like the Hulk. Don't mess with him.
Yeah.
The sun went really low.
I am hungry, though.
But anyway, so let's get into it. So the serialized card is Bitter Bloom Bearer.
Yep.
Great card.
You know, it's a good card. It's Bitter Bloom Blossom on a creature.
Yeah.
Flying 1/1, fairy rogue. So
I mean, generally worse than Bitter Blossom, but yeah, still cool.
yeah, well, creatures are easier to remove.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say the advantage
sure.
is flash speed, so
Yep.
you can get it at someone's end step, so you can guarantee to get one trigger off of it. The other thing, it's black, so I think isn't Bitter Blossom 2 and
I
a
think
black
it's
or
1
one
and
and
2 black or
something
2 and
like
2
that.
black, something
We can
like
look
that.
it up.
So technically, it's a little cheaper. It's going to be out of 500. The art for it, I think we actually debuted this art a little while ago.
Yeah, when they announced
When
it,
they
did.
first officially announced it.
Yeah.
So, but
But I'll put it up there again.
yeah,
Whatever.
I mean, the art's pretty cool.
Bitter
It's-
Blossom is 1 and a black, so it
So-
technically costs less because it doesn't require 2 black.
Correct, yeah. But yeah, I mean, the cool thing about this though is because it is a creature, you can get those things, which this set is very heavy in, which we'll get into, doubled creature type abilities. You can double those triggers. So this actually could be better if you have one of those things out or multiple of those things out that allow you to get 2 or 3 triggers off of this guy. So you're actually, instead of just losing 1 life and gaining 1, you actually lose 3 life and you gain 3 of them, or 2 life and you
Yeah,
gain
I
2 of them.
suppose if you're building around it, yeah.
Yeah. So that is the cool thing about this set that we're going into a little bit more is, kind of the theme of the set was centric around, kindred or tribal, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So,
Yep, that's one of the themes.
yeah.
The buy a box promo, and this is the last buy a box promo they will do unless they reverse their decision,
Yeah.
sadly. But this one is Harmonized Crescendo. Sloan, you want to tell them about this one?
Yeah, this is a cool card because this, again, very much with the theme that they're trying to go with in this set, it feels like, or at least one of the main themes, we should say, of tribal or kindred. 4 blue, instant with Convoke. So creatures can help cast this. Each creature you tap while casting a spell pays for either one of the colors or 1 mana in that creature's color. Choose a creature type. Draw a card for each permanent you control of that type.
Not bad.
That's
Yeah.
a great card.
Yeah, and I mean the big thing is too, if you kind of have a bigger board state, like for example creating a bunch of tokens, you can sacrifice giving up some of those to pay for the mana of this in regards to tapping them down so they're not blockers anymore. So it's kind of this equal exchange of where you can pay for some of it with creatures, pay for the rest of it with mana if you want to, or pay all creatures in this case.
Yeah, great kindred support in this
Yep.
set.
Yep.
So
not a bad buy a box. Very usable.
yeah, I think
It doesn't have a
this
lot of
is-
value, but it's a
No,
great
but
card.
I think the idea of it is good because they did pick something that I think a lot of people are doing with this set, at least from what I've seen, because even one of the precons, we've gotten full deck lists now for both of them, is very kindred focused for the precon.
Is this
So-
card available in the box too? Like,
Yes, you
Okay,
can-
so that's fine.
Yep.
Not a problem.
New mechanics. My favorite.
Well, I do want to point out, we have more returning mechanics with this set than we do new mechanics.
Which is usually the case. Usually. But they have done it before where they're...
But
Give them
usually
credit,
the way-
they didn't add a ton of stupid mechanics.
Right, but I do want to point out that I don't think we've ever, this last year that I can think of, I don't think we had this many returning mechanics in a single set.
Probably not.
Right, that's why, like, they actually...
But Lorwyn's like a storied set. Like, it's a big part of Magic history. So
Right.
they wanted to bring back a lot.
Yeah, but they could have just done like they normally do and just make a new version of Evoke, a new.
Yeah.
Right.
They just
Well,
make
and
unnecessary
the
things.
The thing is, like, some of these new quote-unquote mechanics are just things they've done in the past renamed.
Right.
So,
Well,
I mean-
right, and slightly different, just to make life more difficult. Yeah.
But I will say is like trying to new year, new us. I think we got to give them a nod. There's not 75 new mechanics and one returning mechanic.
Yep.
We have a lot of returning mechanics finally for a
That's
set.
a great point.
Yep.
So I mean,
And
we got
I
to take it
do
where we can get
also
it.
feel like at least one of these they will use again, but we'll get into that. So
Yeah, I do think too. So
the first new mechanic is Blight.
yep.
Basically, you may put X11 counters on a creature you control, and then it does something.
Yeah, so the cool thing about this mechanic that I like is that there's kind of different instances where it happened, at least with some of the cards that I saw. So some of them are as part of the casting
Yeah,
cost.
an additional casting cost, Blight.
So if you
at
do
2 or
blight,
whatever.
yeah, if you do blight, it does this. If you didn't, it does this.
Right.
Very similar to like water bending that we saw in Avatar. And then I also like the fact that I saw it as part of an activated ability, I think, on some cards too.
It's part of instance, too. It'll
Right.
say,
When
in
you-
addition to casting this cost, I mean, it's kind of an additional cost, but it'll say, Blight X. I know
Right.
one of the damaging spells said Blight X, and then you deal damage equal to the X, and then you also got something else if you blighted. Or
Right.
something like, I don't remember, but it was like an additional piece of the
Yeah.
instance.
So I do think this mechanic specifically, I like the idea that they're focusing on -1/-1 counters. A lot of the stuff we saw last year, specifically in Edge of Eternities, were all station counters and +1/+1 counters focused. So I think it's cool that now this set we have -1/-1 counters focused. So you can use the proliferate stuff we saw in Edge of Eternities now for a negative. You can use it now to slowly eviscerate those who you're
Well-
putting -1/-1 counters on.
Well, and am I correct in understanding, like, if you have 3 +1/+1 counters and you do a blight -1/-1, it doesn't put a -1/-1 counter on it. It just removes a +1/+1
Correct,
counter.
and vice versa.
So,
Right.
it can fit really well on that.
Yeah, so if you do have these decks where you're getting a bunch of +1/+1 counters to put on things, then you blighting actually doesn't hurt you nearly as much as it is the rest of the table.
Right.
If that blight, like you said, for that one is, hey, whatever you blighted, that X, that's also now going to be applied across the board. So, so I think that's cool. I think for the set it makes sense too. So I don't think this
One,
is.
it's a big part of the one of the precons, which again we'll get into.
Yeah, once we
in
get
just
there.
a minute. But so I got a lot of this information directly from the pre-release notes from Wizards of the Coast.
Yep.
But I didn't put all the notes in here because some of it's like, well, duh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the one thing I thought was interesting about this that they put on this, once you've announced that you're casting a spell or activating an ability, players can't take actions until you finish doing so, which we know that. But notably, opponents can't try to destroy or otherwise remove your creatures to stop you from blighting as part of it paying the cost of that spell or ability.
Right. This is kind of similar to most of your additional to cost mechanics. So, for example, the most infamous one, at least that these guys have seen me use a lot, is Fling, right? As part of me casting it, the creature's already sacrificed. You can't destroy that creature. It's just part of the casting cost. This is a very similar idea where I target something and do the blight on it. You can't then in response blow it up, so I can't then get blight.
Right.
Because it's all happening simultaneously. So good clarification there, because I'm sure there's some people who are going to think it's a stacking or a triggering effect.
Or that you target something.
And then they get to choose. Yeah. So no, it's not that. Because of it being an additional casting cost, which we'll see on some of the cards I think you picked. Blight was on there, so we'll be able to see exactly how that plays out.
Yep. And then Vivid simply cares about the number of colors among permanents you control. So, it'll say Vivid, depending on how many colors you control, you deal that much damage, or you draw that many cards, or things like that.
It's a Jeff mechanic for all your 5-color decks you love building and 4-color decks you love building.
Yep.
So I think I think this one is one that kind of existed already, but never actually had a name.
Yeah.
I know there's a couple of cards that we've seen where it says for each color among permanents you control, do this. In the past, that's the way it was worded. So now I'm guessing they're just going to say Vivid, and then they're going to put the rules text there to explain what it does. So I think Vivid was more like Jeff was saying earlier. This is one that already existed, and they just kind of put a name to it now.
Yep. So that's it for new mechanics. Yay.
Yeah.
The Vivid's the one I think they will probably keep in the future. It seems like something that's very easy to apply. To
I think they'll
other
keep
sets.
Blight too.
I think so. I will say this because we kind of didn't do this with our New Year's podcast because Jeff wasn't here last week. But I do think that this year, and I was gonna kind of say this before all these spoilers started happening, I think we're gonna have another like tribal focus year, kindred focus year, which means I think that the Blight's gonna make a return because I think you're gonna see -1 counters be really big because there's a lot of things that care about creature types that we've seen now in this set specifically. So I think Blight. I think Jeff's right. I think Blight will make. I actually think they'll both make a return. They're both fairly straightforward mechanics.
And they're not broken.
Yeah, I don't think they're overpowered or too strong, so they kind of make sense to have return because, again, you can kind of put them on anything and it kind of just makes sense. Like, Blight can just be, like in the horror set, we could see Blight come back because I can see that being like a grungy mechanic, you know.
Yeah,
so.
that's true. So returning mechanics. Now, funny story. The first one on my list here was not in Wizard's list.
Really?
Even though it is a returning mechanic.
Oh, okay.
And this is, so I thought I put this on here because I thought people may be confused because it's not one that's used a lot.
Yeah.
And that's Wither. Wither means that it deals damage to creatures in the form of -1 counters.
So stupid.
Wither's sick. It's such a gross
I
mechanic.
know it's just dumb because it's just poison or
Well,
what's
but-
the other word they have? Infect.
Yeah, but
Like, how
except
many
that
more
it
things-
doesn't do anything to players different.
I know.
It's just
I know.
regular damage.
I get it, but
And it can be applied to instants and sorceries, whereas before Infect could not.
I know that's just silly.
But they could
We
have
now
just said
have
instants and
three-
sorceries can have Infect.
Yeah, we
but that
still
would
have
been bad.
we
That-
still have 3 things that essentially do very similar things.
Yeah.
They're ridiculous.
Yeah. But that's one. Most of these we will not go through what they do, except where I think it's pertinent. So
Well, this
for
has a ton of notes.
transforming double face cards. This one does have a ton of notes because there's a lot of stuff to know specifically about this set.
Never trust double-faced people. That's what
so
I'm going to tell you
in
right
this-
up front. Just Duncan, don't trust them.
Yeah, no,
They're out to
for
get
sure.
you, two-faced.
For sure. In this set, each transforming double face card in this release is cast face up. None of them can be cast with the other side up. And in every zone other than the battlefield, consider only the characteristics of the front face.
So
I thought that was pretty important.
Yeah, because there is some that are legendary creatures that have a color associated with them.
Yeah.
How does
So-
it differentiate this from another one that you can play either side? Does this not have a casting cost on the back or
Correct.
something?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And that's what they wanted to make sure people understand is because some people might not know that's what differentiates, you know. It's like, well, why is this card can I consider the back, but the other one I can't?
Yeah.
And then a transforming double face card enters with its front face up by default unless a spell or ability instructs you to put it on the battlefield transformed or allows you to cast it transformed, in which case it comes in with the back face up. Okay? And then with that, if you are instructed to put a card that isn't a double face card onto the battlefield transformed, it will not enter at all.
Gotcha.
And then lastly, a token, though, actually does copy the backside as well. So if it says transform, the clone can transform.
Yeah, because it
Or
can't
the
be
token can
counted
transform.
individually, it would make sense that then you would have to be able to copy the entirety
So-
of the card.
Yeah, and so I want to clarify because I just misspoke. A token is what I'm talking about, not a clone. So a token that is created as a copy of a permanent does have the backside. So, and clones do as well, which
It'll have both the back and the front.
right.
Yeah.
The next one is Evoke. That one they've used a lot. Not going to go over that. Changeling as a type they brought back, but they've used that one a
Yep.
lot.
Yeah.
Kindred. Now the only note here there's a couple notes here that I thought were pertinent. This is a card type that allows non-creature cards to have creature types. So I didn't ever think of it that way. I didn't think of it as a type. I just thought of it as it's a,
Yeah.
I did know that if it says, like, if you cast an elf spell and you cast a kindred
It's very good
elf
for kindred
instant,
decks.
Yeah.
It's very good.
I knew it triggered there.
Also, the colorless deck I have. What's that commander called?
The Eldrazi one?
Yeah. Dang it.
I don't
Can't
remember his
his name,
name.
but
Who's this something?
yeah.
So here's something that I never knew. While it appears on cards that have other
left.
card types.
Sorry.
Yep. Oh,
I'll
look, a
just
chicken.
blurt things out the rest of
Yeah.
the session.
Interrupted
The rest
cow
of
who.
this, yeah.
While it appears only on cards that already have other card types, Kindred is a card type and will be counted that effects that refer to the number of card types among cards in the zone. I didn't realize that. So if you have an instant Kindred elf, right? Mm-hmm. It is both a Kindred card and an instant, so that counts as 2 card types in your graveyard. And that's important for your Lorgoyf deck.
Yeah.
So if you put any Kindred cards in there, it counts as 2 things by itself.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Convoke is making a return, as is Behold. If you don't know what Behold does, it was in Sharky or Dragonstorm. Just go watch our video from that.
Yeah.
They have dual-sided Shocklands in this set, which we've talked about before, but that is very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, night side, day side is what they are, and I think it's all 5 of them
Yep.
they did.
Yep.
So we are getting all 5 of them in this set, which hopefully makes them a little bit more affordable for you guys who have been trying to get your hands on some dual Shocklands. So
Yeah.
There you
Which
go.
you kind of need to buy them now at the prices. Not now, but once they drop.
Oh, yeah, because what I think is going to happen, though, I think these double-sided ones are going to be more.
and which
they
hopefully
should
means
be,
the
but
older
the normal
ones,
versions will
right.
be cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully that means the older ones will kind of drop a little bit with these new ones popping out. So yeah, just keep your eyes on those because that is good. That's healthy. I'm glad they are kind of starting to do that. It's kind of been a trend now where they're either making up new lands that are kind of dual lands, right?
Yeah.
We had the Verge cycle in one set. I think the Avatar set has like the special lands with the abilities that say as long as you control a basic, it comes and untaps, and then you can use its ability immediately. Mm-hmm. So they're starting to do a better job with that. So I'm glad they brought back these. And like I said, hopefully that will pull down the prices of the old ones.
And then we have special Goose card.
Yeah, or special guest with 1S.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a new product line I'm working on. Yeah, special guest cards. Again, I did not list all of these, but I did pick a couple that I thought were interesting that they're reprinting.
Yeah.
Bitter Blossom, Idyllic
Amazing
Tutor.
card.
Good
Idyllic Tutor, amazing card.
Dolmen Gate,
Yeah.
Good card.
Painter Servant, which is a big combo card.
Yeah, that needed a reprint. It's been a hot minute,
Well,
right?
because it was banned before,
Yeah.
and then they unbanned it, and now it's like, oh, we need to reprint this.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I was reading. I think that was a good reprint.
And then Wander Wine Prophets is another good card.
Yeah, the Dolmen Gate I think makes sense because this is very creature heavy set. So Dolmen Gate is
Yeah, attacking creatures don't take damage.
Right.
It's so good, and it's expensive, so it needed a reprint. It's
Yeah.
like $30.
yeah. So
I keep telling people about it. We mentioned it last week, I think.
yeah, I think so.
But it's $30. you
Yeah.
know, but hopefully this will
Yep.
bring it down.
I snuck in. I actually, crazy enough, I bought mine. I want to say like 3 or 4 years ago, and I think it was chilling at like $5 or $10 when I bought mine.
Ooh, lucky.
Yeah.
I bet this goes down to there, if not lower.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
with
should-
the
it should.
reprint, hopefully.
It should, because
'Cause
there
it's
are
not
other
worth
cards.
$30.
No, it's not. There are other cards that make your stuff indestructible. It isn't that expensive,
Right.
dollar-wise. And then commander decks. So both of these have good value and seem strong right out of the box,
Yeah.
I'd say. So the first one, Dance of the Elements. This is an elemental kindred deck. The commander is Ashling the Limitless.
Yeah, it's probably stronger out of the deck than the other one.
So this is the 5-color elemental.
Well, except that it's 5 colors, so it's going to be tougher to run.
Yeah, but they've been building them pretty decent.
Yeah,
They
but
both
I mean,
will have tap
but
lands.
5-color decks you can run into where you just miss colors, and that can hurt a lot.
I mean, both decks are going to have tap lands, and your tap lands
Yeah.
can tap for multiple colors, and you should probably be fine. But
Hopefully.
Because I think Blight of the Curse is 3, right? The second one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So 5-color and 3-color deck, but the 5-color one, the ability on her, Duncan's got it there. He can.
Yep. So the commander is Ashling the Limitless, 2 in a red, 2/3 creature, legendary creature, elemental sorcerer. And by the way, sorcerer is now its own class, its own type. They separated it from wizard.
Okay.
Even though they joined it with wizard several years ago, then they just now made it its own thing.
of course.
So elemental spells you cast from your hand have evoke 4.
Pretty good.
That's pretty good. Evoke, remember, if you cast it for that, it sacrificed right away.
Yep.
Whenever you sacrifice a non-token elemental, create a token that's a copy of it. Well, so you sack it, but then you get a copy, so who cares?
Yeah.
Wild.
That's
It's like
pretty
an
good.
interesting version of sneak attack.
However, the token gains haste until end of turn. At the beginning of your next end step, sacrifice it unless you pay Wooburg.
Right.
But there are
So
ways.
9 mana overall.
Yeah. But there are things, what's it called? There's a Lotus. Limitless Lotus or something that taps for Wooburg. There's other things.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a
Timeless
bunch of
Lotus.
Timeless Lotus.
Timeless
There's a bunch of
Lotus
things that-
taps for Wooburg.
There's lands,
Yep.
cascading cataracts.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you can do this. And then the backup commander is Massive Mysteries. This one is a Wooburg, legendary creature, elemental 5/5. First strike, vigilance, trample. At the beginning of combat on your turn, another target elemental you control gains myriad until end of turn.
Ooh,
That's pretty good.
That's brutal.
That
That's
is pretty.
those are
good.
both very good commanders.
Yeah. Yep. Blight Curse is the next deck, and that is a -1/-1 counters deck. The commander on the face is Anti-Ool Curse Wretch. 1 black, red, and a green. I believe that's Mardu.
No, Mardu's black, white.
I'm awful with the
Yeah,
color
I am
combinations,
too.
man. I can do the 2 most of them, but anyway.
Isn't that Jund? Jund is black, red, green.
Okay, sure.
Yep.
I'll take your word
If
for
we're wrong, put it in the comments. Let us
it.
know.
Yeah. I just don't care about the names. That's
I
the
don't
problem.
either,
I'm like,
honestly.
it's black, red, and green, clearly. Legendary creature, Goblin Warlock 4/4. Ward, Blight 2. So if they want to affect this, they have to put 2 -1/-1 counters on a creature
They control.
they control. Yes.
And they have to have a valid target for
Right. If
Right.
if the counters cannot go on it, you cannot blight. And you cannot split them among 2 different creatures.
Yes, it is
one.
one creature.
But if it only has one toughness, you can still put 2 -1/-1.
Right, because
They
it
come in
happens
together.
simultaneously. Yeah.
So that's a ward. Whenever 1 or more -1/-1 counters are put on a creature, draw a card. If you control that creature.
Amazing. That's so good. It
If
just
you-
adds to Blight. Just
Yeah.
makes Blight better.
Right.
If you don't control it, its controller loses 1 life. So
Also not bad.
if they want to do this,
They have
they're
to
going to lose
lose a
2
life.
life and put 2 -1/-1 counters on a creature.
Man, that is
Right?
mean.
Right? That's if they want to target it with anything.
I don't think that's that bad.
I mean,
It's pretty bad.
It's like Ward. Ward is normally like, okay, that's mildly annoying.
no, it's they
there are
lose
things
2
that-
life
yeah.
if they have to put -1/-. They lose a life every time they put a -1/-1 counter on a creature they control.
Yeah, but if I want to kill your commander, I don't care if I lose 2 life.
But there are commanders who the ward is pay 2 life.
Yeah.
And now with this one, I mean,
Yeah, and there are Ward.
not-
There's like Ward 9 too.
It's not the
isn't there?
ward. It's not the ward 2 I care about. It's his second ability that he's gonna.
That's crazy.
That's what I'm talking about.
Drawing
is the
cards.
drawing cards, and then if it's not his creature, he's just gonna start dealing damage to you.
yeah.
For
So all those blight cards that are in this set, he's going to punish.
yeah,
other
he's gonna
players.
punish you for playing them.
It's a great commander for
Yeah.
a Blight deck.
The backup commander is the Reaper King No More, which I think is
The
cool.
Reaper, King No More.
Yep. He costs 2/2/2, or it's 2 hybrid black, 2 hybrid red, 2 hybrid green. So you can just play red, black, green, or you can pay 2 for either one of those.
So confusing. Yeah.
Confusing, but it's not. Like,
Yeah.
It is, but
it's
it isn't.
confusing to explain.
yes.
It's a lot easier just to look at the picture. Yeah, just look at the picture
It'll
behind
be right
us.
here.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a lot easier to understand.
Legendary artifact creature Scarecrow 3/3. When the Reaper enters, put a -1/-1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Whenever a creature an opponent controls with a -1/-1 counter on it dies, you may put that card onto the battlefield under your control. Do this only once each turn.
So that is my problem with that. It's only once each turn.
Yeah.
That one is significantly weaker compared to the previous backup commander for the 5 color. I would say pound for pound, if we're just looking at the lead commander and backup commander, Wooburg takes it.
Yeah.
However, I think the fact that the first commander for the Blight one is a little bit quicker to get out, and I think his ability you can take advantage of a lot faster.
Yeah.
I think I think he might be a little bit more of a menace, but I don't know.
Isn't Ashling, wasn't it 3 mana? How much mana?
She's
3
2 in a
mana.
red, but the problem is her ability, it costs you, like you said, 9.
Well,
if
it
you
costs
want-
you 4, yeah. 'cause-
But
4 or 9 if you want to break
and then
it.
Wooburg
Yeah.
if you want to keep it.
Yeah.
So
But all you have to do is play stuff that doubles your tokens, and then you would keep it. Or would it still die?
It would still die.
it would still die because
It
it has the
has
same.
that ability on it.
Yeah. Okay, so cards we like.
Yeah.
I think we all
No.
found some stuff we like here.
Yeah, I found a couple that, again, I kind of been looking through it. My buddies are kind of excited for the set. I know we have a lot of guys here at work that are actually going to the pre-release event at the shop, and they're pretty stoked about it. And so, and I even know some of them are probably planning on playing the precons for the precon league at the shop. So I know a lot of people are kind of excited for the set and kind of pumped for it. So I think overall, from what I was just kind of browsing through, I think it's a pretty good set overall. I think this is going to be more akin to Bloom Barrel and power level wise because it's so. From what I saw, a lot of stuff is very Kindred focused.
Yeah.
There are some other themes in there, like there are like counter themes, the Blight thing. But for the most part, the biggest theme that I saw throughout the entirety of the cards that I saw was Kindred.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So I think that's going to kind of make it like Bloom Barrel, where Bloom Barrel was the same thing. It had other themes in it, but the big focus was Kindred. So if you're someone who likes building big creature decks, this is your set. Definitely get some cards for
Yep.
sure.
So we'll start with Jeff down on the end, and we'll
Yeah, so I love
go this way.
Kindred decks. I have probably more than most of the people we know. I have a lot of Kindred decks. And so this one actually is Kindred, but it doesn't have to go in a Kindred deck. It's Selfless Safe Right, 3 and 2 green, creature, elf, warrior. So it definitely could go in an elf or a warrior deck. Flash, and it has Convoke, which Convoke, your creatures can help cast a spell. Each creature you tap while casting a spell pays for 1 or 1 mana of that creature's color, right? So this can be free. You can use all your mana and just keep some creatures to tap. When this creature enters, choose a creature type. Other permanents you control of that type gain hexproof, indestructible until end of turn. So it's obviously best in Kindred, but you could do this on a lot of decks if you just want to protect your commander. But definitely in like any Kindred deck, this is awesome. And it doesn't have to be Elf Warrior Kindred deck. It's any Kindred deck.
Yeah, because again, when he comes in, you get to name something.
Yeah, and hexproof and indestructible until end of turn is really good.
Yeah.
It is indeed, yeah.
So that would be my first one.
So looking through, obviously I'm looking at what commanders can we build out of this set. So this one I think is really good in a Wooburg deck. So elemental deck, I think this will be good. And even though it's not an elemental, the precon elemental, I think it'd still do really well in. But also really good just as a standalone commander, I think, for its ability. So I'm gonna go Sonar, Innovative, First Year. It's a legendary creature, Goblin Sorcerer, 2/4, and it's hybrid blue-red, so 4 total. And this is a Vivid ability. So this is the one we were talking about before. The new mechanic. At the beginning of your first main phase, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X non-land cards, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. For each of those colors, you may exile a card of the color from among the revealed cards, then shuffle. You may cast the exiled cards this turn. So you could essentially get 2 extra cards in your hand, basically, every turn.
Just if you only do his colors.
That's only if you do his
If
colors.
you would put it in a Wooburg deck.
For example, if I were to put this in Avatar, which has a lot of multicolored spells, and my commander is Wooburg, then I'm swinging for the fences. I'm trying to get 5 cards in exile.
Yeah.
Because the cool thing about this is it doesn't exile cards equal to the number of colors. It exiles cards until you hit a spells equal to the amount of colors you have. So you can exile a lot. This is I think this is good to help you dig through your deck, to maybe get through that chunk of lands that maybe you're about to hit, which is nice. Again, it does it right at the beginning of upkeep, and it is a triggered ability, so if you have anything that's going to double your triggered abilities of, like we said, this set has a lot of Kindred stuff that does that. It's going to double abilities of X, creatures.
Yep.
So you get to do it twice. But yeah, I think it's a really good card to either standalone commander or put in a deck that has a lot of colors in it. Even if you're not a spell slinger deck, because it just cares about non-land cards, and X is the number of colors among permanents you control. So,
I do think he kind of looks more like a troll from the movies. The Trolleys, is that what they're called?
Trolls, the Troll Doll movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trolls. It's just called Trolls.
Just Trolls.
Yeah, a little bit. But the other thing I heard about this is that these creatures that are coming out in this set that have like the first year in it are connected to the next set coming out, Strixhaven.
Yeah.
So these are
I think he's one of the main characters in the book, if I remember right.
correct. So there's a couple of these creatures that you might see that say something first year, and that's because they're actually connected to the colleges coming out in Strixhaven, the schools.
Yep.
So cool that they're doing a connection in universe with the first two sets. Well, technically TMT's in between, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the two first in universe sets, we have a connection.
Maybe they'll show up. I don't know.
Who knows? But yeah, so I thought that was cool. But I like his ability. I think it's really fun. You can go a lot of different ways with it, and it's. I think it's all benefit really.
Yep.
So.
Definite card advantage there.
Yeah.
So the first one, I want to get this one out of the way. Blue card.
Yep.
Right. Glenn Alendra's Answer. 2 and 2 blue instant. This spell can't be countered. Love that.
Yep.
Counter all spells your opponents control and all abilities your opponents control. Create a 1/1 blue and black fairy creature token with flying for each spell and ability countered this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about this spell is it lends itself to CEDH based on its ability, but then doesn't work that good in CDH because of its cost.
Right.
So then it's sort of, for me, in a weird spot.
It is, however, those times when people have that perfect scenario when it's like this triggers that, triggers that, triggers that.
Well, I'll tell you a perfect scenario right now. Ishvalan. You will counter every single trigger that he does when you go to attack and declare attackers.
Yep.
Yeah. This would destroy that. you put all those triggers on the stack because that's technically the way it works.
Yeah, you mean Ishin.
Yeah, Ishin.
Yep.
Of two heavens.
Yeah.
Yeah, two heavens are one or whatever.
Yeah. So
I think you just put all those words together when you said
yeah, I did. But yeah, this is something that's really good with that. And I think the reason why this came out again is we see a lot of triggers in this set for when this creature enters, trigger all of these things, abilities for that creature type or whatever. So specifically in the 5-color elemental one, I know there's a lot of that.
It's a good gotcha.
Katara.
Yeah, all the allies triggers double.
Yeah. No, just counter them.
Yeah, just counter them instead. So and again, we were kind of discussing this, me and Duncan did on the last episode, where sometimes we look at these counters, we're like, oh, it's 4 mana, it's way too expensive, it's not worth playing in anything. I want to point out again the last part that he said. Then you get a 1/1 blue and black fairy for each ability and spell countered this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if he attacks with 5 creatures, I now get 5 creatures in response to him not getting any of his triggers.
You know what this is? My ideal situation is like Andrew builds a deck and it has blue in it and he has all this stuff going on. And then I cast a different counter spell to counter it. He's like, I gotcha. I counter that. Yeah. It's like, now you counter his counter and all this stuff, and like, Yeah. And I get fairies.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of mana up.
So
that's 6, probably.
No, because you also had to counter him. You said you're going to counter.
So 4 for
this,
that one, 2 for another one.
Yeah, counter spell.
So I mean, yeah, I think that's cool. I think we can definitely see a trend of abilities being targeted now by spells. That was something that, as we had mentioned before, was very rare. We had Stifle, and then they made one on Lord of the Rings, and like maybe.
But they're making more and more of it, and I'm for it.
Yep.
Yeah, and more protection spells too.
Yeah, for sure.
All those board wipes that are out there.
Yeah, which are so many.
Yeah.
Jeff, what's your next one?
Another Kindred card, because I do like Kindred. Chronicle of Victory, 6 mana, legendary artifact. As Chronicle of Victory enters, choose a creature type. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +2/+2, have first strike and trample. Whenever you cast a spell of the chosen type, draw a card. So it's like
it does all
it did was it said, okay, Kindred cards, because there are cards that do 1 or 2 of these things. It's like, I'll go ahead and just do them all. For 6 mana, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean that was one. I think someone said, "What's the Vanquisher's banner?"
Yeah,
it's like a steroid version of that.
I know it's that plus other cards that draw based off of it. So, but first strike and trample is so gross. It's not enough that you're trampling over me already. You're also going to kill me before I can even stop any of the damage.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because that makes trample so much better.
The only thing it doesn't do is protect them. You do need one thing to protect them. So it's like, okay, we won't do everything. We'll leave one thing.
Yeah.
One ability off.
Just so Jeff can cast.
Yeah,
the
but
fierce
I'll have
protection if he has
selfless
to.
safe right in my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Give everything hexproof
Yeah,
and
there you go.
indestructible, yeah. Bree or Bray of Clan Stout Arm.
Bray sounds cooler.
Bray, I want to say it's Bray just because there's not a second. It's BRE, so I'm guessing it might be Bray. 4/4, 2 red, white, legendary creature, giant warrior. 1 and a white, tapper. Another target creature you control gains flying and lifelink until end of turn. So, not bad. Good way to give a creature evasion if you want to make it a little bit harder to defend against. The second ability, though, at the beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost if the spell's mana value is less than or equal to the amount of life you gain this turn. Otherwise, put it into your hand.
Well, that's gross.
Yeah, so being able to cast a spell for free at the end of your turn just for paying 2 and tapping and turning a creature that's a 5/5 into a flying 5/5 with lifelink. Pretty good trade-off.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good deal. I think most people would take that, and it's in red-white, which is very heavily encouraged to go swing.
Yep. And lifelink.
Yeah, and
There's a
very
lot of
heavily
lifelink.
encouraged with lifelink.
Not the red, but the white. But still, there's a lot of Boros that has lifelink.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, I definitely think that this is something that you could very quickly and easily see gaining a lot of life of and getting a lot of free stuff out in response to it. And because, again, even worst case scenario, even if you only gain 1 life with simply tapping the mana rock that taps for 1 colorless and gains you a life.
Talisman.
Pristine Talisman, tap for 1 colorless, gain 1 life. You still get to put that card in your hand.
Yeah.
So it's not like wasted. You still get to take it and put it in your hand.
I don't get to cast.
I don't get to
I
cast
just
it.
get a free card.
Whatever.
And it's a non-land, so I know it's not.
I know for a fact
How
it's
many
not going to
times
be
do you
land.
want something good and you get a land?
Right, exactly. So again, very cool. Could definitely be a commander. Easily see it going in some other Boros people that care about life gain stuff, things like that. Especially your Spellslinger deck that you had, where you gain life based off of the damage your cards dealt. That was red white.
The Sunspeaker and somebody.
So
all your instants and sorceries have lifelink.
Yeah.
Yep, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
My next one is Mirror Form. This is another blue card.
Yeah.
I've gone a long time leaving blue alone. But
I know.
There are some good ones here. So this one's 4 and 2 blue for an instant. Each non-land permanent you control becomes a copy of target non-aura permanent.
Yeah.
So as long as it's not an aura, it doesn't even have to be yours. You can make everything you own but your lands turn into a copy of whatever that is. I can think of some gross examples of that.
Yeah.
There are several things that would be just, I would drool over to target with this.
Well, yeah, and the big thing is if you get something like, if you're able to copy something that specifically allows you to double your triggers, and then you're able to cast something that is going to have a triggered ability if you do something, getting 7 or 8 triggers, like we mentioned before, is,
Yeah, you have one thing you're going to put out.
Yeah.
You make everything else a roaming throw, and then you put that thing out.
And Trigger City, baby.
Yeah.
It's there's definitely a lot of things you can do with this. Even if you're just like, hey, I'm going to make everything this giant 7/7 dragon that has flying.
Yeah.
I have 6 1/1 fairies. Now they're all 7/7 dragons until end of turn.
It's a nice win con for any artifact or enchantment deck that's just like
they dirtle
goofing around,
yeah.
dirtling, and then you're like, boop, I win.
It doesn't even have to artifact, Ancient Copper Dragon, so many things that would be so gross.
Yeah.
Jeff?
So I have one that's similar to that, but it's repeatable. So it's called Mirror Mind Crown.
Okay.
It's 4 mana, artifact equipment. As long as this equipment is attached to a creature, the first time you would create 1 or more tokens each turn, you may instead create that many tokens that are copies of equipped creature. Equip cost is 2.
Ooh.
So you're just going to be able to be making copies of whatever gross creature is out there, which is a lot of fun.
So I want that in my Myriad deck.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. That's real good.
Yeah. Here's a kindred one for you. So again, this is going to be a commander legendary creature, elf fairy noble 4/5, Maryland Fey Ascendant, 2 black green blue, flying. Whenever Maryland or another elf or fairy you control enters, exile the top 2 cards of target opponent's library. So right away, that's already a pretty good ability, especially with all the fairy token creation that's happening in this set in those colors.
Yep.
So very strong. But once each turn, you may cast a spell with mana value less than or equal to the number of elves and fairies you control from among each of those cards exiled this turn without paying its mana cost.
That's pretty good too.
Yeah, so I like the idea of, hey, I'm going to dig through your deck real quick and find a really good card, and then as soon as I do, I'm going to cast it for free. Like I said, the Bitter Blossom.
Bribery.
Yeah, so you have your Bitter Blossom. We have the Serialized card as well. Both are going to create fairies on your turn. That's 2 right there. So that's 4 cards you're already exiling. You already now have 3-4 fairies out. So anything 4 CMC or less, you're casting for free. This very much snowballs very quickly, I feel like, and this can get out of control very fast when she's out on the field. And again, she's not anything to be scared that something's going to blow up. She's a 4/5. I mean, she's a big, that's a big creature
with
a big girl with a big ability on it.
Yeah.
So definitely one I can see a lot of people kind of.
Fairy walks in with a bitty waist.
Yeah, and some horns in your
face.
And some horns in your face. You about to lose all your spells because she's gonna cast them. That's what happens. So I think it's a really cool kindred commander. She is an elf and a fairy, so. You could very easily go elf ball with this. You could very easily go fairy focus. You could do both if you wanted to.
Yep.
Kind of up to however you want to play it.
That's what we needed was more elves.
Yeah, I know. I saw this set and all the elves they made. I was like, because that's so what good. Needed help is elves.
Yeah. It's like if they had gone heavy and green.
Well, at this point, elves are
green
so good you could make like 2 or 3 elf decks and not copy elves, and it would still be broken.
Yeah, it's
Which
insane.
dragons is getting to pretty much the same place. You can make 3 dragon decks and never use the same dragons, and all 3 would still be good.
Yeah.
So the next one I have is Twilight Diviner, 2 and a black creature, elf cleric, 3/3. When this creature enters, surveil 2. Whenever one or more other creatures you control enter, if they enter or were cast from a graveyard, create a token that's a copy of them. This ability triggers only once each turn. I mean, the once each turn is always like the. However, that's still pretty good.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to be casting too many creatures per turn out of your graveyard.
Right.
There's only a few commanders that let you do more than one.
Yeah.
I just thought it's good value. And again, if you have things like, that mirror form.
Yeah.
You make a bunch of copies of this, and then next turn cast something from your graveyard. Pretty good.
Yeah, you're doing all right.
Why don't we have Johnny do this next one, and then I'll do the last one, and we'll move on to the overall thoughts.
Yeah. So.
Is that all right?
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah. So my last one, sticking with the things I think would be for commanders, Tam. Mindful first year, so another student from Strixhaven. 1 and then hybrid green or blue, so only a 2-drop for a 2/2 Gorgon Wizard, which I think we haven't seen a Gorgon since Thunder Junction. Legendary creature. Each other creature you control has hexproof from each of its colors. Mm-hmm. Tap it. Target creature becomes all colors until end of turn. Yeah. Pretty good, especially if you're rocking a 5-color commander. You know what? A great way to keep them from getting, murdered or exiled with returned to your hand with blue, fought with green. Yeah, just make it immune to all the colors it is. So all of them. That's a pretty good way to save it. So again, this is a really quick one too, only being a 2-drop. I like the idea of each other creature control has hexproofs from each of its colors.
Mother of Runes. It's another one of those.
Yeah,
so now
it's better than Mother of Runes. Because
Because
Mother of Runes gives you protection from a color of your choice.
Right.
You know, which you can pick whatever color they're doing. But this is like, if somebody tries to pile something on it. Now, something I do want to point out here, though, and it's something I've been wanting to talk about for a while. It's real quick, though. So there is a difference in color identity and the card's color.
Yes.
And a good example is that Ashling, the commander of that deck,
is only red.
That is a red card.
Right.
It has 5-color identity.
Yes.
For purposes of this card, it is red only.
Yeah. Same thing with Avatar. Avatar is everything but black because the ability on the backside is what gives it its black.
Right.
So it would be the other 4 colors. So, but again, the cool thing with this is that's also hexproof. So the downside with protection with Mother of Runes is if you have something on there that's that color, it's going to drop off and fall then because it now has protection from that color. So, and this is hexproof. And then again, I like the idea of you can tapper. I'm going to give that thing all 5 colors, so now it's protected from your Path of Exile or whatever.
However, this will not protect against the colorless spells, obviously.
Yep. No colorless protection,
But neither did
unfortunately.
Mother of Earth.
Yeah. But, I mean, again, I think it's a cool little card. I think this would go really well in pretty much any deck that's running blue and green. I can't really think of an instance where it's like, no, I just don't want all my stuff to have hexproof. Like, there's not really a lot of times where I can think where that's something that I want to do. So, I can see this being very easily run in.
And a lot of times people won't target you just because you might be able to activate that. So
right.
They
They don't
just
wanna waste
hold
it.
it up.
Yeah, they don't want to say, you know what, I'm going to force you to have it because they can see you have
So
it.
it's like a pseudo protection all the time. It's like basically like your stuff always has hexproof.
Yeah, so I think it's a cool little card, and especially I think the mana value wise, they put it at a good place. Two drop, I think is good for this.
Yeah, it's just better than the other cards that already do that,
Yeah.
which is what they do. Do you want me to do Hexing Squelcher, Duncan, and you do Goliath Daydreamer? Because I have Hexing Squelcher up.
Sure.
So, Hexing Squelcher, this is probably one of the best cards in the set. 1 in a red. Creature, Goblin, Sorcerer. This spell can't be countered. Ward, pay 2 life. We were talking about that earlier. Spells you control can't be countered. Other creatures you control have ward, pay 2 life. So, if it wasn't enough that it kept all your stuff from being countered, on top of that, it gives it all ward for 2 mana. That's wild.
Yeah.
And it protects itself, too.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
just, I mean, so much protection on one little creature.
Yeah.
Yep. It's going to make Goblin decks even grosser.
Oh, I'll tell you this right now. I would absolutely pay 2 life to blow that thing up immediately.
Well, yeah, most people.
Oh yeah, 100%. That thing's getting blown up. So
That's
way
why I
don't have to
said
worry about
ward
it.
doesn't stop. It just annoys you
No,
slightly.
but then you put the lightning greaves on it.
That would do it.
Yep.
Or use that lady we were just talking about.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, that's true.
So the last one we got is Goliath Daydreamer, 2 and 2 red for a creature, giant wizard, 4/4. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand, exile that card with a dream counter on it instead of putting it into your graveyard as it resolves. Whenever this creature attacks, you may cast a spell from among cards you own and exile with dream counters on them without paying its mana cost.
Always good.
I
Free
love
stuff.
casting things without paying their mana cost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a good one. It's a 4-drop for a 4/4, so it's it's a difficult one to even deal with, honestly, just from its sheer size. Again, a lot of your deal damage spells are usually capped around 3. Your lightning bolts, your things like that, shocks 2, 3. So I mean it's. I'm guessing if this drops out and you don't have a board wipe on hand, you're probably at least going to get something
And then
with
put it with that goblin.
Yeah.
You put it with the goblin.
Yeah, then it
now
has
you're good.
ward 2 life.
Yeah.
Ward pay 2 life. So
And now your spell you did can't be countered.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's the cards we liked. I mean, there were a lot more, but we tried to limit them so that we would have time to do everything we wanted to do. What's your guys' overall thoughts? Now, pricing went up a little bit, but we didn't have the craziness we had with Spider-Man or right before Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. Prices have stabilized, it seems like.
Yeah.
I would say, from what I see, collector boosters are still going to be scarce after opening weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably not going to see them again. But what do you guys think of the set?
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think that it did what it kind of advertised that it was going to do, right? So we kind of knew we were going to go back to this realm of kind of mythical creatures of fairies and goblins and all of these kind of things, and we got that, and then furthermore, we got things to support that really heavily in the kindred, the tribal style of the cards. So it did what it advertised to do. I don't think, from what I've seen, unless I'm missing something, I don't think anything's really groundbreaking or game changing in regards to it's gonna.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything that I'm like, oh my word, that's so stupid. Why did they print that?
Yeah, like that shouldn't be a thing. Like even that guy we just mentioned at the end that Jeff was saying he thinks is probably one of the strongest cards in the set, if not the strongest card. I still think even that is pretty tame in regards to some of the things we saw last year.
Yeah, especially since it's red.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see them making that same
that
card
would've
last year,
Yeah.
and it would have been Ward, wipe your board or something,
Ward,
like
pay
they
2
have-
life,
Or they would have
sacrifice
made
a
it
creature.
colorless.
Yeah,
Yeah, or something. So, but yeah, I think overall, I think it's a good set. I think it did a good job at what we kind of thought it was going to do. Happy that they brought back a lot more mechanics than they created.
Yep.
So happy about that. And I think the 2 mechanics they created, one was one that already kind of existed. They just gave it a name. And then the Blight one I think is cool because they're counteracting the counters they did last year, which is all +1/+1 base. Now we're getting -1/-1
Yeah.
base. So I think good overall. Probably pushing towards great.
Okay, Jeff?
I think it's good. I don't think there's a super powerful chase card. I agree with that. We'll see how that affects the sale of the deck of the set. Obviously, having the serialized card it does affect sales positively because everybody wants to be ridiculous and chase after a card you have no hope of getting. But I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. The art, I think, is really interesting and fun. The night and day is kind of fun. I bought a whole bunch of inner sleeves because I think now with Magic, you basically inner sleeve everything because you're gonna have to take it out and flip it around. This one you don't have to, but if you want to change the way something looks, you can.
Yeah.
And I think that's really neat because you can build one. This is like a good side, the light side, or build one the dark side. That seems like a lot of fun to me. Hopefully these cards aren't too expensive. But I think the art's really neat. And then if you don't like that art, it has the regular art that's not that, and that looks normal. So in general, pretty good. Not anything I have to go get.
Right.
There's nothing I care about.
Right. So my thoughts on it, value and power level, I put mid. It's okay. It's good. It's not great. It's good. It's not Spider-Man, but it's not Avatar either.
Right.
You know what I mean? My worry is that they're making standard sets, like these standard universe sets, seem weak. Everybody's going to be like, I want that Universe of Beyond again. I want this stuff. Because even Spider-Man, like the big hits in Spider-Man, I think were more powerful than the biggest hits here.
Well, yeah, it had a very powerful one at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also feel like with the serialized cards, what they're doing is in sets where they don't have that super powerful chase card, they're going to put a serialized card. And in the card where they have a super powerful chase card, they'll make that the one that you're chasing.
Yeah, that might be what they're doing. I don't know. I think it's an okay set. It's not bad. It's fun.
Yeah. It's way better than Spider-Man as far as overall set.
Well, Spider-Man was garbage.
Yeah, I think overall mechanic-wise and actual power level-wise, I think this is going to be above Spider-Man, probably closer to Avatar. I will say I think just because, again, thematically speaking, Avatar had the 4 bendings. So, like, it was really well done in that
I don't think it's
sense.
anywhere near Avatar.
So I would say it's below Avatar for sure. But I think, like
this
I
is
said,
like looking at Avatar in the rear view mirror.
Yeah.
I think
Avatar's looking at it in the rear
That
view
would be
mirror.
interesting to create a graph this coming year of the power level and how it went. Like,
Yeah.
see what went where.
Because maybe they did kind of do this, Final Fantasy, and then it went down with Edge of Eternities, and down to Spider-Man, started coming back up with Avatar, and now it's going down again.
Yeah, I think, like I said originally, I think this is more Bloom Barrow-esque level.
Yes,
I think it's accurate. Because it did a good job at what it wanted to do, but nothing in it was like crazy over the top. I think there are good cards in there you can definitely take out of this set and put in other.
There's cards you're going to use from this set for
yeah.
the next 10 years, for sure.
I would say it's just one step below Edge of Eternities.
Yeah, I do think Edge might have been
way under Edge of Eternity.
I think
it's way under?
Oh yeah.
With all the tribal support?
Yeah, I don't think it's anywhere close to Edge of Eternities. I think Edge of Eternities had stuff that can really go off.
I think the difference is Edge of Eternities had a lot newer stuff. Like it had the spaceships.
Yeah, I might be biased because it had spaceships. So like, to think of it, I might just be biased because the art in that was crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as power level of the cards, I think it's just a little bit under.
Yeah, I don't think it's...
I think Edge had more.
I mean, Edge had
really
Ancient
good
Tomb in it. Like the land.
I mean, as a special guest, yes.
Yeah, but it had some bangers.
Yeah, the land.
Yeah, I mean, this
really
has
good.
Painter Savant, though. A lot of people would say Servant. Sorry, Painter Servant. Jeez Louise. Listen, it's been
That's a new card.
Yeah,
Painter Savant.
Painter Savant. No, Painter's. I almost did it again. Painter Servant.
I just don't think Painter Servant is really that interesting to most casual EDH players.
Yeah, the problem with Painter Servant is when you look up, like, how do you play this? It's like, it's not very good unless you really break it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but
you're not casually playing Painter Servant.
Yep. But I do think it's a set that's worth having. If you're trying to build a collection, you're going to get some good base cards in there.
I definitely think they have, in my opinion, I think there's decent commanders in here too that you can build off of, including the 2 precons. I think honestly, the biggest thing to highlight, even though I think it's ridiculous there's only 2 of them, both the precons I feel like are really well done.
I think it's fine. There's 2 of them, and I agree. It's very well done. I agree with you.
So
Okay. Well, that's all we got for this week. Thank you for joining us. Sloan, where can they find us?
Oh, you can find us all over the inner sphere. YouTube.com/@CommandersPod. That is our main place of the video podcast that some of you are watching right now and some of you are only listening to. If you didn't know, we do video as well. Feel free to go ahead and hop over there at YouTube and you can check that out. We do try to put the cards up behind us as we're going over them and explaining them, so that way it's a little bit easier for you so you don't have to try to remember them and look them up later. Also, you can email us, cast@commanderspod.com. Love getting your emails. We did a deck tech just a couple episodes ago for one of our listeners.
Just last episode.
Yeah. No, 2. Last episode. 2 episodes ago. Last episode. 2 episodes.
Last episode. That was last week's episode.
Oh, it doesn't feel like last week. But you can email us comments, concerns, or ideas, or things you have questions about, or heck, even send us tales from the table. We still love hearing those and getting those in here and telling crazy stories.
That's where you send all the hate mail for Aggro Jeff?
Yeah.
That's where that goes?
That's true, because I won't read it.
Yeah. You can also visit our website, commanderspod.com. You can find us at patreon.com/commanderspod if you'd like to support us so we can keep making these great podcasts for you and content and getting more and more stuff for you. And then lastly, at all of the Audible podcast websites, you can find us at Spotify, Audible, iHeartRadio, Apple, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, etc., etc.
Is .com or
Yeah.
.net?
.org, I think.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Government owns it.
And don't forget, play bold, swing wide, don't forget to pay the 1.
Magic will leave us.